Alright, so I don't remember if I've ever done any full color grading in Lightroom before. Most of you guys have been asking, so let's see if I can do a full color grading in Lightroom and also editing the image without going into Photoshop. Alright, so last week I've done this photo shoot. Well, not last week. Last week I uploaded a behind the scene of this photo shoot, and today we're going to be editing some of the images. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is to well, what I've done, I've gone ahead to make selections of the favorite images from the shoot itself that I will be editing. I may not edit all these images. Normally I would actually do like 6 images from a shoot, or maybe 4, or sometimes 2. So I'm gonna select a few of these favorite images that I've selected for editing, and I just want to keep the editing in Lightroom. All right, so let's get right to it. So the first thing I'm gonna do, normally when you open Lightroom, it's going to be on the library option. What you can do is to go over here to develop and then click the crop overlay. All right, when you click on this option here, it will give you the option to crop the image, and I always love to crop my images for the Instagram portrait size. So what we're going to do is to click on the 4:5 8:10 option right here. Then you're going to put the crop where you'd like it to be. Right there should be good for me. I'm going to press enter. Good. And then I'm going to press auto and see if auto does any trick. Auto doesn't really do anything, but I'm just going to leave it at that, what I've just done. All right, so I'm going to ensure that I'm on solo mode. Solo mode is basically when you click on an option over that side, it will only open the options for what you've clicked on. And then when you move from it and go to something else, it will only open that option basically. So you don't have all the tools open up, you know, all the different adjustments open up. So let's just come back over here, and then you know what, I'm going to play with the color profile a little bit. I'm going to try vivid. Oh, nice. I like vivid. You know what, I'm going to do the before and after each time. So each time I make an adjustment, you can see it. So right here where it says Y, right here, I'm going to click on that. And then this is the before, this is the after. So I was using the Canon REBEL SL1. For this image, I was using the 50mm lens, as you can see right here. And I was shooting at 2.0. ISO was at 100. And my shutter was 1/250. All right. So I've just made that little adjustment. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to see if there's anything else. I'm going to play with the dehaze a little bit. I'm going to put it like 5% of dehaze, and then that's it. Then I'm going to come down to HSL and I'm going to play with the background color a little bit. So green, I'm just going to, all right, I don't like how that looks. I want a little earth tone color in it, so maybe about right there is good. And then the yellow, I'm gonna play with the yellow a little bit right there. And then for his skin, orange, I'm gonna, all right, no, I'm not gonna play with orange, so I'm gonna go back to 0. What you could do also, you can double click on, let me see, double click. Yeah, you can double click on the name of the adjustment, and you go back to the default. So I think I had this at -40. Yeah, I think that's what I had it there before. Good. So that's a little tip. All right, so I'm just gonna come down here to detail, and I'm just gonna play with the amount of detail a little bit. I'm just gonna, basically I'm shortening his skin a little bit. All right, that should be good. Then I'm going to come down to lens correction. I don't think I need to do anything with the lens correction. I don't need to do any chromatic aberration, anything. Everything else is good with that. So I'm just going to come down to where it says effect. Let me just play with the effect a little bit. So what I'm doing right now is to add some vignetting on it a little bit. That looks good. Maybe I could put this at 30, -30 actually. So -30. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to go back in the full screen. I can show you the behind, I can show you the after later. All right, so I've done that. So I'm gonna come down here to, where is it? Let me just minimize that. I'm gonna go back to HSL again. I don't think I need to do anything more in HSL. So I'm gonna go back up to the basic option right here and see if there's anything else I need to do. Like for the shadow, like right here is kind of a little bit dark. I'm just gonna play with the shadows a little bit. So just pull it out a little bit like that. That should be good. Let's look at the before and after quickly. So before and after, good. So we're just doing basic editing, basic color grading in Lightroom. All right, so let me just, I want to play with the image a little bit more. I'm gonna come over here to where it says gradient filter. I want to add some more colors to the image itself, right? So I'm gonna come right here and I'm just gonna pull this down. And then once you pull down the gradient filter, it will give you these options here to make adjustments to the image itself. So I'm gonna play with the temperature a little bit as well. To about, you know what, I'm gonna go over to the yellow section. Then I'm gonna dehaze it a little bit. Then clarity, just a little bit. We don't wanna add too much. And then sharpness. All right, over this side, I'm just gonna come up from this side here. The same adjustments that I've done in the in this one here is still here. So sometimes I wonder why the application works like that. Why is it that the adjustments are still in? Well, I don't know. Maybe I need to create a new one. Oh. That's what I needed to do, create a new one. I'm gonna undo this. I'm just gonna delete this one by right-clicking and delete. You know, I've never thought about doing this, like click new. All right, I'm clicking new, but I'm not seeing anything happening. Okay, so I'm gonna try and see if it will do anything. Oh, so all I need to do is to just click new and it will just apply the new settings. Okay. And then I can just come right here and I can play with the blocks a little bit. I can darken right there if I want. For the shadows, I'm gonna bring out the shadows a little bit. Contrast, play with that as well. Like that, good. All right, that's okay. All right, so I'm gonna come over here to where it says radial. This is the this will give you the option of selecting a particular section of the image. So I'm going to make like a circle and we can make adjustments to it. So I'm just going to drag this down a little bit more. So if I want to brighten this part of the image or darken it or add a color grading to it, just to the model, I can by using this option. So I'm going to pull in the exposure a little bit, like right there. Just brighten them a little bit, and then I'm gonna apply dehaze a little bit on the image. So let me invert it and see what it looks like. So that's outside. All right, good. I think I like that. So this is the invert option. So you can put whatever adjustment that you've just done, you can put it inside, you can have it outside. So right now it's inside. All the adjustment I've just made is inside here, and then when I click it, it goes outside. So which one looks better? For some reason, I don't think I need to make any adjustments to him by using the radial option right here, radial filter. But for some reason, I like it. Like this looks okay. That looks okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do. You know what? I'm not going to use it because I want to apply this same settings to another image. So I'm just going to right click on this little circle right here and delete it. All right, good. So there's nothing else I need to do basically. Let me just zoom up on the image a little bit. Let me just click done and zoom in. And what I could do is just remove some of these blemishes here. So I'm going to go to the spot removal tool. You can press Q on your keyboard for it, and you can also use the right and left bracket on the keyboard to adjust the size of it. So I'm just going to click right there for that pimple. Then I'm going to move this to a clean area. Alright. And then I'm going to move this one as well. It's taking a little while to load. I don't know what's happening with my computer these days, but I'm definitely going to get a Mac because sometimes PC gives a lot of problem. So I'm just going to try to save up some money and buy a full spec Mac. And hopefully it works better. Hopefully. Alright, so I'm going to go to the neck and I'm just going to remove this thing right here. And then right here. Good. So I'm going to press done. And then I'm just going to zoom back out again. Alright, most of you guys may have known that I've sold my Z6 because I want to get another Sony camera, because I just like the Sony. I rather the Sony over the Z6, so that's why I made that decision. So right now what I'm using to video, well, the camera I'm using right now to get this footage is actually the Sony, and I'm trying to get another Sony pretty soon, so let's see how that goes. Alright, so I'm basically done with the color grading. There's nothing else I need to do. It looks good. Let me see if there's anything I need to remove. Oh, I need to remove this. So let me just click on that. Just gonna move this up a little bit. Bring it up here. Alright, good, and then okay. So you can see the before and after right there on the screen. I might just use this image. You know what? I'm gonna save this image right now so I can use it for my thumbnail for this video. So right here, and then I'm going to just save it. I'm gonna save it right there. As a matter of fact, no, I'm not going to save it right there because I might not remember that it's there. So I'm going to come over to my images, Control L, right there. Good. Alright, so I'm going to apply the same settings to another image. So this image right here, I am going to apply the same thing. So I'm going to go back to the image that I've created the adjustments on. What I could do, I could click on copy right here and then paste it to this one. So I'm going to do that, copy, and you can also control, I think it's Control Shift C to copy, and then I'm going to go over to this one, and then I'm going to Control Shift V and paste the same adjustments over to this image. So you see that? Pretty quick edit. And his face is clean, so I mean there's not a lot of work I need to do. As you can see right there, I'm right there and that's the videographer. So yeah, this image is done. That's a quick edit. I think I might want to lighten up this section a little bit more, so I'm going to go over to the radial option. I'm just going to lighten it here. So I'm going to bring back the exposure a little bit to about 17. So that's good. So I'm done with this section here. I don't need to do anything with this image. So I'm going on to the other one. So I'm going to copy. Oh, I show you that option already. So there's another one. There's another way. You can click back on library here, and then you can go to the image that you'd like to get the adjustments from. Click on the image that you'd like to apply the adjustment to, and then click the option here that says sync. Actually, no, sync settings. And then apply that. All right, so I'm gonna look at the before and after now. So I'm gonna just come back over here, and that's the before, and that's the after. But for these images here, they look a little bit more rich than this one, so I have to do some adjustments to this one now so it looks closer to those. All right, so I'm going to click on the gradient filter, and then I'm just going to pull this down And then I'm going to put yellow, a bit more yellow, then dehaze. All right, I'm going to do the same thing over this side. I'm not going to change the mask. I'm going to use the same thing, maybe here as well. The difference with here though, I'm going to put a little more green right here, so I'm going to put this in the center. Then I'm going to come down to HSL, and then I'm going to play with the green. Oh, it's changing everything. Oh, I see. If I go to HSL, it's going to change everything. Just remember, because I'm not on this masking layer here. So if I'm going to make adjustment to the green, I have to come over here to do it. So I have to use this green tint right here and then turn up the saturation a little bit. I think I want to get rid of some of the yellow. So I'm going to bring this to blue a little bit more, then bring the saturation over some more, and then dehaze it some more. Yeah, that looks good. Done. So there's nothing more I need to do. Let me just do a full size view. There's nothing more I need to do with this image. It looks good. So again, before and after. Good. So I'm going to go on to this one now. Alright, so this image is a little bit blurry, so I'm not going to use it. I mean, you won't notice it if it's on Instagram, but so I'm going to press U. So this one is not, well, 0. So this one is no longer in the favorite images. And I'm going to come right here. And what I'm going to do now is to apply, for all these images that I've selected for my favorites, I'm going to apply the same adjustment to them by holding on this one, hold on Shift, and then come down here. And then I'm going to press Sync. When you're in Develop, you have Sync right here. When you're in Library, you have Sync over here. All right. So I've just applied all the adjustments to that, from this one to everything else. All right, this one doesn't really look like how I expected to, so I'm going to come over to this one and then go to this one. So I'm holding down on Control right now, and I'm clicking the one I'd like to get the adjustment from, and then I'm just going to sync. Alright, for some reason it did not apply. Alright, I'm going to reset this one, and then I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to copy from this one, and then I'm going to go over to this one, and then I'm going to paste. Oh, not much. It doesn't do much. I guess it's the same thing. So I was using ISO 1600 because I was using the 75 to 35mm lens. So yeah, my ISO was at 600, so you're gonna get some grain. But I remember when I made the first adjustment, I did add some, what they call it, sharpness to the image. So I'm gonna go down to detail, and I'm just gonna double click on that to get rid of some of the sharpness from it. That didn't do much, but there's an option here for you to click on removing noise from the image. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's here. No. Alright, I think it's under effect or effects. Grain. Let me see. Oh, this is adding more grain. There's an option here. I don't remember exactly where it is, but alright, this is a vignetting. I didn't have a vignetting to it. I don't remember. Detail. Yes, it's actually right here in detail. I can't believe I missed it. You can see I don't really use Lightroom that much to do color grading or editing. So I can just come right here and I can adjust reduce the noise from the image. That's too much. I'm just gonna come right. That should be good enough. All right, that should be good. And then I want the colors to be a little bit more rich. So I'm gonna come here to the gradient filter, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna bring the exposure in a little bit more. I'm gonna bring up the saturation and also the dehaze. All right, and then I am going to play with the contrast just a little bit. Bring out back some of the shadows. Then I'm going to do the same thing to over this side. Gonna bring out back some of the shadows. All right, good. And then I'm gonna go to the radial filter, and I'm gonna adjust him a little bit. So I think that size should be good. I'm gonna bring it down a little bit like here. Then I am going to adjust the exposure. That should be good. I'm gonna add some dehaze to it a little bit. All right, so as you see, guys, you don't necessarily have to do a lot of color grade. Well, you can do a lot of color grading, but it's not a lot of different options that you have to use. All right, am I saying it right? All right, you can do a lot of color grading in Lightroom, but it's not a lot of work. That's basically what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's look at the before and after. So I'm going to go back to, well, I think I have to click on done, and then click on the before and after option. So this is the before and this is the after. So it looks really, really, really good. All right, so I'm going to come over here to the other image. It looks okay, but I'm going to see if I can copy the settings from this image and come over here and apply it to this image, even though I already had some effect applied to it already. All right, so that's what it did. Not sure if I like the vignette in here, so I'm going to come down to the vignetting option here. Where is it again? I need to remember where these options are. I believe vignetting is under detail. All right, what's happening? Actually, it's not under detail. It's not under color correction. It's not under, oh, it's under effects. Okay, I won't forget this. So I'm going to bring this out a little bit, like right there. So effects, and then I'm going to go to, you know what, I'm going to go to the gradient filter again. So I'm going to go back up to basic gradient, not radial filter, gradient, and then I'm just going to come down here. All right, so I'm going to come here and bring down the exposure a little bit like that. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow, and then dehaze. All right, that looks good. So the same settings, I'm going to apply it over this side. And then I'm going to dehaze it some more. All right, right here, we have a lot of light right here. So I'm going to press done. And then I'm going to go up to the basic. So I'm on basic right now. So I'm just going to click on highlight and just bring down the highlight a little bit. And that should be okay. So before and after. So what else can I do? Alright, I think I want the pants to be a little bit darker than this. So I'm going to come over here to the radial filter. I'm going to come here. And then I'm going to bring down the exposure some more, like right there. I can bring it down like this. Then I'm going to add some blacks to it, a little bit, not too much. And that should be good. All right, so I'm done with that image. So I'm going to go on to the other image now. And the settings that I had in the previous is still saved. So I'm going to just Control Shift V and paste it on this one. All right, so it's doing the same radial thing. I don't like it, so I'm just going to undo that. I'm going to reset it because I've applied the settings from one of these images before. So I'm just going to select this one and then click on this one and then sync. So it's closer to the edit should be closer to the one that I've done previously. That looks okay. Let's see. It's not 100% sharp, but it's something that we can work with. I'm going to make some adjustment to the model himself. So I'm going to, oh, I can't believe I did that. I clicked on the wrong option. Let me close that. Let me go back here. Yeah, I think, no, right there, good. All right, so I'm gonna just go to the radial option, filter. Just make a selection over the model itself. Bring this down. Then I'm just gonna double click on the exposure. I'm gonna go in a little dehaze a little bit. And then I'm going to contrast a little bit as well. I think that's good. I'm gonna click done. Then I'm gonna come over here using the gradient filter. I'm just gonna make some adjustment over this side as well. Double click on exposure just to get it back to 0. Add some blacks to it. Add a little yellow. And dehaze. Not too much, just a little. Good. And then right here, that looks really, really warm. All right, I could just bring down this a little bit, but I like this effect. Yeah, I like that effect. Maybe I could bring down this as well. I bring it back a little bit. No, you know what? Bring it up some more. And then what else could I do with this image? I don't think I need to do anything else. I'm just gonna apply some vibrance, a little bit of more vibrance to it, a little bit more, and then a little more yellow. I think that may be too much. I'm gonna come off a little bit more like that. No, that's too much. All right, that should be good. So that's the before and that's the after. All right, so I don't think I'm gonna do all the images. I'm just going to do this last image here. This image kind of looked okay already. I don't think I need to do anything to this image. I've applied the settings from the first image up here, and this looks good. But I'm gonna copy this edit that I've done, color grading that I've done. I'm gonna come over to this one and apply it to it and see what it looks like. All right. So I'm gonna control, but I can just press paste. I like this, but I think he's too dark. So I'm going to light him up a little bit by using the radial filter. I put a little highlight on him. I could just do it like from right here. Then I could bring down the exposure a little bit. But you can see that it's giving the effect that the sun is coming from this section here, right? I could bring this out a little bit more, and maybe I could turn it up as well so the sun can come down on him. All right, and then I could open it a little bit more wider, and then I think I have to remove the vignetting, so I'm going to come back down to effects. And then I'm gonna just remove some of the vignetting from it. Yeah, that is it. So let's look at the before and after. So that's the before, that's the after. All right, so guys, I'm not gonna go to the other images. I really don't want my video to be too long. So I hope you guys have learned something new. As you see, it's just basic editing in Lightroom. As you can see as well, I don't really use Lightroom to do a lot of color grading. I use Photoshop to do most of my color grading. So, you know, if you enjoyed this video, just click like, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And next week, you have a new video. All right, thank you guys for watching and have a good one. Bye-bye.